Got a young student with a creative, analytical mind? How to nurture those young minds is our topic today on the Inside Scoop. Hello and welcome back to the Inside Scoop. I'm David Owen. Give us a like and subscribe if you hear something helpful in this episode. As parents, you likely can see characteristics in your child from a very early age that give you a peek into the kind of mind growing inside that head. Some kids have a natural curiosity of how things work. Some may even do things like take apart their grandmother's kitchen clock and not be able to put it back together. That kid shall remain nameless, but finding ways to keep them busy with the things that truly generate curiosity in their minds, nurturing that curious, analytical mind, that's not always such an easy thing to do. So today I'm joined by two teachers from Tritt Elementary to teach us some ways to do that. Courtney, help me with your last name, please.
Pascual.
Pascual. Please forgive me for that. And Joey Giunta.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Good to have you guys here. I want to make sure your names are right because that's important.
Sure.
So if you would, kind of fill in the blanks as to what it is that you two do at Tritt. You both kind of teach similar but not the same things. Courtney, let's start with you.
Sure. I'm the technology lab teacher at Tritt, and I teach K through 5. A variety of disciplines are incorporated into what we do in my space.
Okay. And what about you, Joey?
I'm the K-5 science lab teacher. So we are both in the specials rotation along with PE, art, and music.
Okay. All right. So, Courtney, let's start with you since it seems like kindergarten came out very easily for you. When parents hear words like technology or coding or labs, we don't normally think of the kindergarten years, right? So it kind of is a little intimidating. It sounds like we're pushing kids to do things, but that's not really what's going on. Tell us a little bit about what your technology learning looks like in the classroom for that age group.
Sure, and it's a fair question. It's not a passive experience in my space. We start off the year trying to be great digital citizens, and what does that look like? Knowing how to use a device. We start out with a desktop computer. Well, then you have to know how to use a mouse. And so all those basic skills have to be taught, but it's always embedded with things that are happening in the classroom. And then it moves into being a problem solver, like a little engineer.
Okay.
That's trying to ask a question, explore different ideas, build something, a model, and then test it, just like a real engineer. So kindergarten does get to do that. And then we broaden it a little bit by trying to solve local problems. Like right now, that absentee list at Tritt is getting awfully long. Can kindergartners teach the rest of Tritt to stay healthy? And then it finishes
that's
up.
Interesting.
We broaden it even further.
Wait, back it up a minute. I'm hearing you, the kindergartner, what are you saying about, help me understand this. I'm a little slow, I admit it. What are they doing with the technology that relates to absenteeism? Hit that again for me.
Well, they're learning about different healthy habits.
Okay.
And then they think, what healthy habit would be the most important to teach Tritt? And then they build a poster, not coding, but still technology-driven, to put around Tritt to teach the other Tritt Tigers how to stay healthy.
Okay, so they're using technology, computers, to design posters. So you are developing at this tender age of kindergartners to think through what information needs to go on a poster, what
the visual needs to be.
Kindergarten's not what it used to be. I mean, my mind goes back to blocks and having a nap.
And they have to make a plan.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, I did that too.
Okay. All right.
My kindergarten did not look like this, for sure.
All right. Well, that sounds like a whole podcast opportunity right there. But Joey,
Happy to come back.
let me move into your world a little bit. Now, you also, you guys are teaching more or less in parallel to some extent. Are you also from the kindergarten age up teaching science? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We have some fantastic science standards in the county, and it's looking for opportunities to make those as hands-on as possible
Okay.
in my lab. So right now, my substitute is playing with worms. We're doing living and non-living things in the science lab right now with kindergarten. So that's very different from this, but they'll work more with robotics as they get a little bit older.
Okay.
And come to me in construction kits.
So when they come to your science lab, and they're in kindergarten,
Yeah.
they're not immediately jumping into robotics, right? I mean, you were talking about coding at such an early age. Why are we this is a broad question, why are we handing them this, what seems to a lot of us to be huge tasks at such an early age? Can one of you explain a little more, maybe you can, Courtney, about the mind nurturing behind assigning that task?
Coding is not just a tech skill, it's a thinking skill. And being able to break down a harder challenge into like manageable pieces. So for a kindergartner, that's just a list of steps, a sequence, spatial sense. And then when you get maybe up to second grade, you're developing a game in which you have characters sending messages to each other to enact actions. And yeah, so it's a lot, but it's just developing those sequential skills and developing that sense of computational thinking is the big term.
Okay.
And if you understand that, then your technology is your tool, and you can
Okay.
harness that tool.
Yeah, okay. So that, to me, that's where the piece fits in, right? Is robotics essentially giving you a task to do that really and truly, we don't want to tell the kids this, is causing them to think in new ways that otherwise, it might be hit or miss. For example, like I presume they work in groups. Well, Joey, tell us a little bit about what the robotics, how robotics fits into this grand approach, and what does that look like in your lab?
The most valuable thing they're getting from working with robotics, but in everything else we're doing, the robot piece for me is something they'll do in a quarter out of 4. They would probably use them more often if they could, but it's using a design process to solve some sort of real world challenge.
Okay.
And that can start as early in kindergarten, in my space, and obviously it does with Courtney's too. But it's using that design thinking, breaking down a problem, looking for possible solutions, creating a model. But in doing that, they are not working by themselves. You mentioned that they're probably in groups, and they are. In working in small groups, they learn to collaborate. They learn to communicate with each other. That's the hardest piece. This, for us, probably the most intimidating thing is the technology. The kids pick that up pretty quickly. I'm learning from them as often as I'm teaching them anything with the tech. It's managing those soft skills or transferable skills of.
Yeah, that's exactly what was popping into my head, because again, I'm dealing with the kindergartner in my head, and the thing that I see the most in kids that age, students that age, are having to learn how to share, right? How to set their own desires and wants aside for the good of the group. That's no small soft skill. A lot of adults are still wrestling with that.
Yes, they are.
And also, tell me if this is true, accepting the ability to fail and rebound from that, like a lesson in resilience. How big of a role is robotics in that?
A big role. We tell them to fail faster, to test that idea faster and see if it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
Your ideas aren't precious. Get them out there, try it.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
It's not going to work.
And quickly test it so that you can,
right.
The big word is iterate, or make an improvement to what your thought process was that was going to fix the problem.
Yeah. So the faster you fail, the faster you can get to success too,
something else,
right? Yeah. That's pretty cool. So it's not just technical stuff. It's the things that go into being able to pursue things that are unknown, fail, recover, and eventually succeed. Fair?
Yes. Good
Okay.
word. Recovery is a good word for that.
So by fifth grade, students can choose to go further, right? With robotics in particular. And we're talking about classes, but there are also extracurricular clubs, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, Joey, if that's your ballpark, right?
It is. Yeah, it's both of ours.
Okay.
We have an opportunity for fifth grade students to take the robots that they've been learning, the coding skills, and combine those for local competitions.
Okay.
So a small group of students, they have to apply, can compete against other schools.
Okay.
So for different tasks. So it's usually moving this thing from over here to over there.
Yeah.
As we're using real robots for.
But
right.
this competition is not about us against them. It's actually collaborating
Yeah.
with another team that you're just meeting and coming up with a quick plan on how to use strategy to solve the problem.
Students they don't know already.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. Wow, that's an immediate challenge.
Yeah. So they're really getting awarded for being the best collaborators with the tools that
Okay.
they've brought to the table.
And the competitions are not like Battle of the Robots where they've got
No.
skill saws
Yeah.
attached to them.
Right. It's the same people, but at this level, they're collaborating.
It's a little
Yeah.
safer
Yeah,
collaboration.
Right.
So you guys are both at Tritt, which I presume is probably a pretty well-supported school, right? And this stuff that you brought in, these look like really cool tools, but I know they're not cheap. We may have a parent or maybe even a teacher in another school who's saying to themselves, yeah, but that only happens at a school like Tritt. We can't afford to do stuff like that. What would you say to somebody in another school who really kind of has a heart to teach students this way, but they're like, that's a lot of money. We can't get there from here. What would you say to them?
Well, you're right. We do have a wonderful PTA and foundation at our school, but all of the resources that we're looking at here on the table are materials that we're able to get through the Cobb County School District. Our STEM department here is fantastic. These are related to grants that they've provided us, and anyone in the county can start building the program that we've done.
Okay,
Over 8 or 10 years, I guess we've been
Yes.
doing robots now.
The opportunities are
So
there.
it starts small, gets big.
Mm-hmm.
So any teacher can apply for these grants? Is
Yeah, I
that
think they would work with their administration to
Yeah.
reach out to the STEM department with Cobb County. And
just got to ask?
just got to ask. Yeah.
Okay.
We've asked for stuff and we've been able to get it over time.
Okay.
It wasn't all at once.
No,
No.
it wasn't.
No.
Not all at once.
Okay, so you have parts that were 10 years ago and then
Yeah,
parts that
and,
are-
well, and that's the other thing too. That these are expensive, but they are robust.
They are.
The big one on the table is 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
It was the first thing that we got into was the biggest stuff, and we sort of trickled down instead of the other way around. Now they come to this part with everything they've gotten from Courtney ahead of time, and they're little experts.
And this year I was able to get brand new drones to work with girls in my school, and it was provided by the Cobb STEM, STEAM, and Innovation Department.
So we're starting a drone force here in Cobb County. So
Delivers pencils.
okay, so this is a little bit of an aside, but a drone in a sense is like a robot.
It is a
Give
robot.
us okay. Give us a 2 or 3 sentence explanation of what you're talking about. Is this this drone thing for girls only? Or?
Well, all of fifth grade at Tritt had the opportunity to fly a drone, but Cobb County Schools has an event called Fly Girls, and so we get to bring a group of girls to an event in March.
Yeah.
But these drones were provided because I used them in my fifth grade class to talk about how drones are used for things like noting coastal erosion off the coast of Georgia and things like that.
So, and it's specifically aimed at girls because it's an attempt to encourage girls in sciences in
Yes.
general?
Yes, and it's one of my passions to get more girls involved in technology and computer science.
Very cool. So some parents might not feel like they are qualified to support a technological approach to a child's learning.
Great.
What would you say to that parent? I mean,
I'd say that's fine. Let the kids do it. I mean, I think for me personally, I've said this before, but the students, in their experimentation with the tools we provide, surprise me with what they're able to do with it. You don't have to know the answer. Ask meaningful questions to guide them to, a solution to some problem they've identified, or that you've identified the problem maybe. But
okay, so middle school, and at this point we hear the horror movie music come in. A lot of parents, in particular, shudder at the thought of their child moving up to middle school. It's a tough set of years in there. Does robotics and coding and all of this help the child enter those years? Or what long-term impact are you seeing from your efforts at the kindergarten, elementary age level?
Well, I would say, number one, with robotics and with technology, whether it's in the classroom or in our spaces, they're developing those skills to be able to apply to different situations. And two, we're trying to instill a productive struggle in them where they can, like we said, fail faster.
Joey, does that sync
yeah,
with
I think so.
Yeah.
The most important thing they'll take from it is how they were working with others to solve that problem.
Okay.
There's a certain amount of skill involved in putting these things together. It's the least important skill that we've given them when we're done with a unit on robots. Or
so this actually throws me back to the question 2 questions ago. And that is, maybe the non-tech or all parents' role should not be to guide them in how to put it together, but how to recover from not succeeding, right? And fail faster, as you say.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think we can get away with a motivational sign for our office walls, fail faster. But I do think there's a lot to be said for that. And so that's really cool. Is there anything else that you could add that a parent might like or need to know about how they can nurture their child's mind in this arena?
One of the most important things a parent can provide is the opportunity to get these materials into kids' hands.
Okay.
And there's a cost associated with that. But the other big thing, especially in an after-school setting, is going to be the time. That's probably the most expensive resource. For teachers that, we didn't seek out robotics probably, but
if you say that it sought you out, that scares me.
It is scary. Putting time into the after-school program is probably the hardest thing to do, because there's a full slate of K-5 classes that we're teaching, other after-school opportunities, whether it's the Science Olympiad or Courtney does a drone program that the county runs through the STEM department. So it's
another podcast.
Having help from parents to come in, and again, they don't have to know the answer. It's just to help managing the students working together. I think that's
more of an emotional challenge than anything.
Well, I'll just add one simple thing, like modeling curiosity as an adult with your child.
Yeah.
Asking those pointed questions, well, I wonder how that works, and talking to your child about things like that, I think inspires them. Okay.
Well, this is all cool stuff, and I said it when you walked into the room. I'll say it again so the folks can hear. I really wish that I were a student today, because you guys do such cool things and succeed. And from what I can tell, you're able to put things back together after taking them apart. So that's really cool. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you so much.
And we will take any resources that you might have available and put them in the show notes and description of this podcast, so that you as a parent can have those available for you in your parenting challenges and successes, and fail quickly in that, right? So if you've heard something in this podcast that feeds your family and helps you parent your child well, that's wonderful. But please also make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this podcast so that other parents who have those same needs can learn about this. So thank you for listening to the Inside Scoop, a podcast produced by the Cobb County School District.